Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to our channel. On today's episode, what we're going to talk about here, it's Sunday afternoon and there was no racing for us this weekend. So we're just doing some maintenance on the cars, getting stuff ready for the next couple of weeks. They're going to be pretty busy probably. So especially leading into 4th of July weekend is always a big racing weekend, no doubt about it. So we're doing some maintenance. We made a ring and pinion change on the S10. We went from the 514 gear to a 567 gear. We went up in gear, of course, and looking for another 400 or 500 RPM out of the S10 engine. We're about 400 or 500 RPM short. We're not quite sure yet whether it's torque converter still maybe, or maybe just plain ring and pinion. You know, ring and pinion rear gear gives us RPM, and even though 567, yeah, we've never been that high in gear or low, whatever you want to call it, before. This is a heavy truck, 3,300 pounds. We got a 33-inch tall tire on the back, where most guys only run a 32-inch tall tire. So we got a taller 33. So that 567 gear might just be enough to tip us over. If not, we're going to do something with the converter. Converter seems to be correct. I mean, it flashes to 6,500, but we still have that deal on our grid graph where it flat lines at 6,100 as soon as the truck leaves the line. It flat lines there for 0.8 of a second, almost a second, and then it slowly goes on up, grabs a shift. You know the drill. 7,500, and then when it hits a shift, it drops back. It acts just like a tight converter, but we're going to put some gear at it. It was easier to change gear than it was to pull the tranny and converter out again and send that back and play that game. So we bought a 567 gear, took it over to Billy Carker. Bill is our gear guy here, always has been. Bill's the guy in town that really does the best you can do with a 9-inch Ford center section. Bill is the guy to go to. So Billy got the ring and pinion swapped out, changed around, and nothing flat. And we got it all back together and everything. And the reason for this video today is one more thing we're going to add to the truck is one of these Jones transmission pump around systems, they call it. You know, we've been wanting to have one of these on our dragsters for years. We just never ever did. As the evening goes on, or as the day goes on with your dragsters, you can watch your tranny temp, and of course starts the day out at 120, 130 degrees. And as you get through your couple of time runs, first round, second round, as you get into third, fourth round, that tranny temperature is going up. And of course, on the dragsters, we have a tranny cooler, but no fan. It's just a cooler that runs it through the cooler in the back of the car between the rear tires, and it circulates it. There isn't even a fan on it. So as we would see the tranny temp increase in the later rounds, like Kaylin there a couple weeks ago, her and AJ, when they were still in there going towards the finals, AJ's tranny temp and Kaylin's was 180, 190 going up. And what happens, we think, with the tranny temp deal is as that fluid gets hotter, it affects our trans brake release, and all of a sudden you can start to see our reaction times slow down. They start to slow down. Pretty soon you're getting, you know, what you feel anyway. You feel you dropped it in the right spot, but damn it, it's 100th or 200ths slower than what it should be. And a lot of guys put a lot of blame on the tranny temperature fluid. So all in all, now with the S10, 3,300 pounds, our tranny temp hits 220 inside of 2 or 3 passes. And we do have a nice tranny cooler on board on the truck, and it has a fan on it that runs all the time, but it still builds temp real quick. So I reached out to Jones, talked to a guy named Bob Jones there, a really decent guy on the phone, and we finally bought one of these kits. And basically what this kit does is it's just kind of like a water pump, if you think of it that way. It's going to circulate the transmission fluid out of the pan. It sucks it out of the pan, goes to the pump. The pump pumps it back to the cooler in the back with the fan on it, and we have control of it now, where otherwise the only time the transmission fluid is circulating is when the engine's running and the transmission pump is spitting it around. We're here now with the engine off. In between rounds, we can turn this pump on. It's going to circulate the tranny fluid, and supposedly the theory is it keeps it down to 150, 160. I've talked to several racers that use these. Steve Briggs is one of the guys that I talked to, and no doubt about it, Steve has his car sorted out. So when Steve says something works, you can trust it. Some guys, you know, they say something works or not. You can't trust a damn thing they say. But when I talked to Steve about it, Steve said, yeah, man, I was double entered at Cedar Falls. The tranny temp never went over 160. So that, I mean, that's what you need. So it's another job for us in between rounds, but it's a job that's going to help consistency, and not only ET consistency with the truck, but trans brake release with our reaction time. So that's kind of what we're after. This is a nice kit, comes from Jones. It has everything. It has the pump. He has a little distribution block that you have to plumb the correct way. Comes with a relay, has a light to tell you that it's on. Bob even sends a toggle switch for turning the kit on and off. Comes with all the fittings in the pump and in the distribution block. You have to supply the fittings for your braided line when you make up your lines. I just got done making up this little bracket here. This is just going to mount underneath on the transmission cross member, and the pump's going to mount to it. You actually mount the pump what I would call upside down. That's how Bob wants you to mount it. And then complete instructions on how to wire it and everything and how to plumb it. It's a relatively simple deal. I'm going to grab the cell phone here. I'll take you over to this chart that I made, and you'll get a chance to maybe see how this thing functions. Now here on this, let me get this back here a little bit. You can see in the transmission pan, you have to pull a pan off and put a fitting in there. We did that yesterday. You drill and tap the pan with a quarter 20 tap, screw the fitting in there, number 6 male coming out. That goes then, you plumb it to the pump, to the inside of the pump, and then out of the pump, you go to the distribution block that Bob sends along with the kit. And the distribution block has its marked pump in right there. So you run that line. So you come out of the tranny pan in the pump, out of the pump to the distribution block, out of the distribution block on the top, up to the in port on the power glide. The in port is the top port on your power glide. And then out of the bottom port on the out port, it goes to your tranny cooler, and then tranny cooler back to the distribution block on cool. That's how that deal works. Supposedly, like I said, we're looking for a 150 to 160 degree control. We should be able to just turn the system on when we get back, and should be just awesome tool to have at our disposal, basically, for keeping that tranny temperature under control. So one thing I didn't know about this system was I thought that this system was going to be on all the time. When the engine's running, it's on, but not so. It's a deal where, I mean, you can do it that way if you want. It don't hurt anything, Bob says, but what you do is you make your pass, you come back, maybe the tranny temp will be up to 170, 180 maybe, depending on what round it is, and then you just get back, you shut your truck off, or your dragster, or whatever you have it on, you turn the pump around system on with the engine off, of course, and it cools it down, just like a electric water pump with a cooling fan where you're circulating it in between rounds. So, really neat system. We've been wanting to put these on our dragsters for years. We just never did because the temperature increase in the dragsters isn't that high. But boy, when we did this S10, it climbs fast. Like I said, second or third pass, and we're already at 220, 230 and climbing, and no way to bring it down. You're just kind of shit out of luck on the deal. So we're putting the system on. Real simple system. Bob's a great guy. If you guys want to buy one of these systems, I'm a dealer now. We're a dealer for Jones. You get with me, drop me a message or a comment or something like that. I'll get you one of these pump kits at a very, very good price. Probably less than what you'll pay anywhere else. So plus we'll help you with any kind of questions you might have on mounting it or whatever, but it's a straightforward system. So that's going to be what the day consists of today. So I just wanted to drop a little video here and let you guys know what we're doing. And the Jones transmission cooling system looks like it's going to be a great piece. I mean, how can it not be? It's a great theory. So, like I said, if you guys want to purchase one of these, just get with me, and we will hook you up. We got a really good connection now with Bob, and we have them in stock here. So just get with me. But other than that, I'm gonna let you guys go. It looks like it's kind of a cloudy day today again. Yesterday rained pretty much all day. And the guys are racing out at Rock Falls out there. They got rained down on Friday. On Saturday they got rained down. On Friday they had some kind of test day in a gambler's race that probably had 6 cars in it or something. Who knows? But they got rained down yesterday. So now today it looks good. Everybody laid over out there and they're hoping to race today, but the sun ain't shining. And that track is notorious for, once it rains, they can't stop the weepers. The rain just weeps up through the cracks of the track towards the end of the track, on the last eighth of a mile, because they run the full quarter mile out here. So they really have a tough time keeping that track dry in the quarter mile area. Then, of course, you got the shutdown, and that's where if they would just switch it to eighth mile, it would be so much simpler for them to do. They'd only have to prep half the track and dry a bunch less of the track, but they just are diehards out here and just want to keep that quarter-mile thing going. So it's rougher on them, basically, is what it amounts to. The same amount of cars would come or more if it was 8th mile. Or more. And for the half a dozen whiners that you have that want to keep it quarter-mile, let them go somewhere else. They're going to pick up 4 cars right here on our team that'll go out there if it switches to 8th mile. And, 4 cars a day, 12 or 13 crew member, that's quite a little chunk of money they're losing from us. But we won't go out there and run quarter-mile. Not that anybody gives a shit. But I'm just saying, if someday it ever switches to 8th mile, sure, it would be nice. We'd have our own local track right here we could run at. But in the meantime, it's going to stay quarter-mile, and we hear reports on how they do on car counts. It don't sound like they do very well. Like I said, Friday's Gamblers race, I mean, I would bet it didn't have very many cars in it, but whoever won it, they're going to make it like they won the Nationals, so just kind of is what it is out there. It's a shame because it's really a beautiful facility, but just going to have to take what we get. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I just wanted to drop you a little YouTube video here on this Jones pump around system. Looks like it's going to be really nice. So we'll drop some pictures in here on how we mounted it and stuff like that, and then get it turned on and see what she does. We'll put her to a test here in a couple weeks. Okay, you guys, you have a great day. I hope everything's going good. Thanks for watching our channel. Thanks for tuning in every time. It's really growing well. We're approaching 400 subscribers. And after this video, we should push over 400 subscribers, hopefully. And leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of this Jones pump around system. If you have any questions, let us know about anything. Tell us about your car you have or whatever. But definitely like, subscribe, turn on the bell so you get notifications when we drop a new video. And basically leave us a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. That's the big thing. We really appreciate everybody's partnership with us in growing this channel. So, okay, you guys, have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Hey, welcome back everybody. Saturday evening, day before Father's Day. Of course, Father's Day is tomorrow, so that's always a good day. So, have to wait and see what my fam has in store for me. I'm sure it'll be awesome, just like every day. So, just got back from Rock Falls out there. We went out and took the S10 out, did a little testing on the S10, and I think we're about tested out on it now. We should be in good shape. Our gear change that we had Billy Carter make for us from the 514 to the 567, that worked out excellent. We got ourselves 300 or 400 more RPM drop, or less RPM drop, I meant. So that worked out real well. After the first couple passes we made, then Lou and Dom were out there from Lou's Hot Rod Shop, and we got talking a little bit, and they got looking at the grid with us, and we were showing them the RPM drop and stuff like that. And Louie and Dom had a good suggestion of maybe we just shift it a little bit lower. Lou had said he had tried that on his car, and of course, basically what you're doing there is you're shortening up the RPM drop after the shift. Before, when we would shift at 7,500 RPM, the truck would run on up, shift to 7,500 RPM, then it would fall back to 6,300, and then it would kind of lay there a little bit, you know, and then it would take a little bit to recover. So Lou suggested that we shift at 7, even though the motor peaks at like 74, really don't matter that much. Shift it at 7, and then of course the RPM drop, it's still going to fall back to 6,300, and which is a 700 RPM drop instead of a, you know, if we're shifting at 75 instead of a 12 or 1300 RPM drop. So we did that. We went up there and moved the shift to 7,000 RPMs, and damn, the truck loved it. It absolutely loved it. It picked up like 2 in the 60 foot, which really was nothing there. The lower shift point had nothing to do with the 60 foot. I just think the track was getting better, and picked up 2 in the 60 foot, but it ended up picking up like 5 or 6 hundredths in the 8th mile, and then our RPM drop, of course, was less. It had only dropped from 7 down to 63, so it dropped 700, and the truck liked it. It went out the back door in the 8th mile at 7,100, so, and it just seemed to be just really nice, you know. So the gear change helped. Everything's moving good. We put that Jones transmission pump around system on it that you seen earlier in the video. That worked flawless. That kept our tranny temperature at 160 degrees all day. Now we got control of it. We come back, maybe the tranny temp is up around 180 or 190. We just let that Jones pump around system run, and inside of 4 or 5 minutes it's got it down to 160. So that was a huge addition to the truck. Otherwise, it just starts going 180, 190, 200. You got no control over it. So with that Jones pump around system, that was really a sweet addition to the truck, boy. And I really recommend any of you bracket racers out there that don't have that on, you get one of them systems put on your vehicle, because it can do nothing but help. It's going to always help. So anytime we can control tranny temp, which is in control of our trans brake release, how the converter flashes, everything, you got to have it. So that was good. So all in all, we had a great day. At the end of the day, we ended up getting with Mike, and Mike from Transport Garage there had Mike put a little bit of timing retard in the truck, so it would take 10 degrees out on the hit, and then it would take our timing from 35 degrees and drop it back to 25 degrees, and at half a second it ramps it back to 30 degrees, and then at 1 second out we're back at our 35 degrees locked out. So it just is like a retard, like a launch retard, and it just took the truck's aggression away from the starting line, and it just kind of dociled it down. And yeah, we lost a couple hundredths in the 60 foot, but we really think it's needed, because the way that the truck is so aggressive when it leaves, that's great if you're running on Byron Dragway or something, or down in Kentucky or something like that, where the tracks really get prepped well. But around here we got tracks that don't lay down prep. They prep it once in the morning and then they leave it for the day, and us racers just got to deal with it. And like out here at the Rock, I mean, they don't prep. They do one prep they brag about, you know, at the beginning of the day, and then that's it. That appears to be it. So, and as the day was going on today, we could see the track was going away. So I said, well, let's take advantage of that grid we got, and let's take some timing out of it and see what it does. And boy, it just really dociled the truck down, and went right on down that track that appeared to be pretty well gone. So that worked out well. So all in all, we really think the truck is done now. We're kind of done messing around with it. and we are ready to race it. So 4th of July coming up will be great. Dad will be able to get out there and finally get in a race with the thing. We're good enough to race. We still think there's some ET and a converter change in it, but we're about done working on this thing, and it's competitive right now the way that it is, so it's just going to be what it is. So that's kind of where we're at. Truck's done. You know, we're ready to race. Dad was just on it today, every light. I mean, he had double O's. Every test pass he made was double O's. He had one in there where I think he had a 22, and he said he just missed it a little bit. And he had one like 003 red or something. So, I mean, usually when he's driving a thing, he lives in that 00 area. So but that's what you need in order to be competitive with these guys in the box class. So this week here, we're gonna be making a gear change in AJ's car. Got the new ring and pinion right here for AJ's car. That's gonna be we're switching to a 429 gear. Right now it's got a 411 in it. We don't know how many passes are on that 411 gear. We're guessing around 140 or 150. We bought the car with 100 passes on it, and we've put around 40 passes on it now. So usually around 200 passes, we put a new ring and pinion in. So we're going to just switch it now before it becomes an issue mid-season or something. Seems like we got a little bit of time now. We're going to make the switch on that. Get this center section out, get it over to Billy. Billy Carker can put this new ring and pinion in. And basically we're in preparations now for 4th of July weekend, which is still a couple weeks away. But when you got 4 cars, there's maintenance and there's stuff that needs to be done. So it's a preparation thing. It ain't like you just got your one, 68 Camaro that you've owned since high school and you ain't changed oil in it forever. Don't even check the lash. We know guys like that. So we have to stay on top of these cars and keep them prepped. Otherwise, the shit will break. So basically, that's kind of where we're at. And we get this preparation done and we're ready to go race in a couple of weeks. So we'll drop some more videos this week and keep you guys informed on what we're doing. And we'll probably shoot some footage of taking the rear end out of AJ's dragster here behind me and show you guys how that all goes. And other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. And we're doing good. We're almost to 400 subscribers, so this video here should push us over the limit. So just want to give a huge thanks to all you guys for watching. And also, thanks for Lou and Dom coming out today and helping us with that. With giving us the advice on the shift point. And of course, we adjusted some on the front suspension and stuff and got that pretty much spot on. And just was a great day. Rick Carker was out there today with the probe, with Justin's probe. Rick made a bunch of passes in Justin's probe. And that car is working really well too. Him and Justin got to be really happy with that car. Rick, he's getting ready to head down to Byron for 4th of July. So that'll be a big race down there. I wish we could go, but just isn't in the books. So basically, that's about it for this video. That's how we're going to wrap this video up. Thanks for watching, and we will let you guys go. Have a great night, and happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. Going to be a great day tomorrow. Obviously, it's our day. So one day a year we get a day. So tomorrow's my day. So you guys have a great one. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, and talk to you later. Thanks a lot.